What's up guys? This is Brent with 247parts.com, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to add an engine block heater or an engine coolant heater to your John Deere 3043D. So let's get started. So our first step is going to be popping the hood. That way we have it up and out of the way so we can remove the side panels so we can get to the spot we need to get to drain the coolant and then get to the plug that we're gonna have to remove to put in the new plug with the heater. So to remove the side panel, we just have two quick quarter turn clips here. Once you have those released, you can just lift that off and out of the way. And then next we also want to remove this side panel as well. This is just going to take a 10mm. It just has two bolts here that we're going to need to remove. One right here and then one towards the front of this panel. And we can simply slide that off. Now next we're going to loosen up our overflow tank here. Take that lid off. Make sure that our radiator is nice and cool here, and be careful when we take this off to make sure that it doesn't have any pressure on it. Set that to the side as well. So next we're over here, of course, on the left hand side of the tractor, and we're looking right down here at the bottom of our radiator, and you're going to see a little white twist knob here. This is going to be the valve that opens up that radiator to go ahead and drain out that coolant. So we just need to make sure that we get our drain pan placed underneath. You're going to have a little over a gallon coming out of this radiator, so just make sure that you got a drain pan appropriate for that size. And we're going to reach in here and start to open this valve, and it may be pretty tight, so you may need some pliers here to get this going. And then right there, we'll just let it all drain out. So once you've got all the coolant drained, the next thing that we're looking for is the plug that we're going to remove from the engine block to be able to put in the heater. Now the best way to go to identifying where that's at is we're going to look right here for our two hydraulic pumps, and we're going to see this black hose here that is going to those pumps, and that plug sits right back behind this black hose, right back in there. A little hard to see if you don't know exactly where to look for it, but I'll give you a close-up now of what that looks like. So we're looking at that plug right there. It is a square-headed plug. That's gonna take a 1/2-inch drive. So we're gonna go ahead and break out that drive. So that plug is gonna be a square-headed plug that's gonna take a 1/2-inch drive. So we're gonna go ahead and take our 1/2-inch extension here and ratchet and start to take that plug loose. And then we're gonna actually take out a breaker bar, or otherwise known as a breakover bar, and probably something, maybe the end of our jack here as an extension, to get plenty of leverage on this to take this loose, as these plugs are super tight. They normally have some type of sealant on them to keep them into the engine block. So we're going to take this loose. All right, so I've managed to get the hard part out of the way. I did have to resort to using the top of my jack here on the end of the breakover bar, but we did get that to break loose. It's still really tight, so I'm going to go ahead and continue loosening that off, and once we get that out, then we can go in with our new plug. So I've gotten it loose enough now that I think I can just pop my ratchet on here, go ahead and ratchet that the rest of the way out. Now, all of your coolant should be out of the engine by now, but it's a good idea to go ahead and move that drain pan over, just to where if we do have any leakage still out of the engine here, we will be able to catch that. There we go, we got some coming out there. Definitely a good thing we moved the pan. All right, so we've got the plug all the way out. Here's a good look at it here. And as you can see, it's got a little bit of paint and a little bit of thread sealer there, which definitely made that tight. So when you're going back on with your new plug, it's probably a good idea to put a little bit of thread sealant on there, and then just make sure that you're getting that torque down to the torque specs. All right, so now it's time to go back in with our new heater. This is what it's going to look like. We've got the two plug system here, and we've got our heating element, and then of course our threads here, and then also we've got our plug with the 110 plug here on the end. So we're gonna go ahead and get this put in first, and then it needs to be torqued down between 55 to 55 pounds plus or minus 11 is what it says. So not super tight, but you do need to make sure that we are in there good. And then once we're in there, we need to put the coolant back into the engine and check for leaks. All right, now once you've got that snugged up and tight and you've gone ahead, you've put in your coolant back into the engine, you've checked for leaks, the last thing to do is just to add on our plug here. So as you can see, we have a 2-prong plug. We just need to make sure and reach back to the plug here, get that in place and push down to where it is flush. And then now we're gonna have our 110 plug here out to the side to where whenever we're on those cold mornings, those cold evenings, we can come in out to the barn, out to the garage, be able to plug this in. That way this is constantly heating our cooling fluid, our antifreeze, making sure that our engine will be nice and ready to start on those cool mornings. And then lastly, we just need to get our side panels put back on and make sure that our cord is accessible once we get those panels back on. So I hope this video helped you out, and I hope maybe you found just a little bit of value out of this video. And if you did, once again, we just ask you to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as that helps me out as well. And also, if after watching this you feel like one of these engine coolant heaters is something you need for your machine, I'll make sure to leave a link to that down in the description below. That is part number BLV 10640, and so that will be down there. And also, guys, make sure to check out 247parts.com for any other tools and accessories that I may have used in this video. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Hey guys, make sure to go buy your parts right here and subscribe right here.